This is Hannibal back here from The Hannibal TV on YouTube. Almost 512,000 subscribers, almost 300 million total video views. Plus, I got almost 15 million video views just in the past month on Facebook. And that went up partially thanks to Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, who got me in the news a lot for our feud. Our feud is apparently the biggest feud in wrestling right now, because the other big match going on is Cena against Gunther, but they're putting themselves over when they're doing. I saw something, I think it was in the New York Post, from Gunther saying the match quality of him against Cena is going to be a lot better than the match quality of him against Goldberg. Well, this isn't a match. This is personal. And as I did tell Tony Khan, I did say, I shared Chris Jericho's post about it and said, you should use this in some way. Ric Flair's under contract. You've only used him about 5 times in the past 2 years. Do something. For some reason, AEW won't touch me, even though my personal channel has more subscribers than any of AEW's active announcers' personal channels. Hell, they recently just released Tony Chimmel. What did he do in AEW? I would be remembered if you guys gave me a shot. Hey, I'm just saying, if you want to make money, let's have an in-ring promo. But this is what all the controversy's about. Ric Flair's appearance on this podcast, where he said that Hulk Hogan...
What killed him was street drugs. I shouldn't say this, but what killed him was street drugs.
So there you go. He says it loud and clear there. What killed him was street drugs, right?
What killed him was street drugs.
Okay. So today, he's lucky he's not getting sued over that. I mean, that podcast got 1.7 million views. That's all anyone's been talking about, is this guy died because someone in his inner circle got street drugs for him. This guy, he claims this is his friend. He claims he's friends. And that wasn't even a rumor at that point. He's my friend, but I'm just going to start a rumor that he died because of street drugs. Hey, you got your podcast. More people are talking about that than Cena's podcast. You're a better worker than Cena. And today you've shared this because Flair has lashed out at me, basically alleging I only have 2,000 followers and I'm a loser, blah, blah, blah. And he says, for people that have no clue what they're talking about, Sky Hogan, who says she hasn't even seen the podcast. She says she hasn't seen the podcast where Flair accused her husband of dying of street drugs. She's not mad at him, and she knows that they were friends, but she hasn't seen the podcast. So maybe someone, if she thinks that they were friends...
I shouldn't say this, but what killed him was street drugs.
So is that a friend? Maybe she should see that.
I shouldn't say this.
Maybe she should see that. And by the way, I guess he's appearing on Joe Rogan coming up. I would like Joe Rogan to get into the N-word stuff, where apparently he used to throw it around a lot. Let's get into that, and let's dig into why you would start a rumor about your friend being on street drugs, because we did a poll on it here that as of today has 752 votes. The ultimate winner was people said you made it up because you wanted to get your name in the news, even though you knew it was false info. Second place, people think you have CTE or memory issues. Third place, you have a long and well-documented history of being jealous of Hulk Hogan. And, third place was because you wanted the unconfirmed info out there. You just didn't care. And then fourth place was because of your jealousy of Hogan that many wrestlers have talked about over the years. But you are a documented liar. For anyone that doesn't believe me on that, let's watch your video, which I actually have the right to post this. I licensed it, of you talking about Brody's murder, that apparently you were there for this brutal murder that happened. Joe, let's please ask him about this.
Because he had a lot of interaction with the guy.
My memories of him are phenomenal. And I mean, I was in Puerto Rico when he got stabbed. But, you know, a lot of people don't understand the story.
Nobody even knows that because that's never come out. Because I've done interviews with like Salvio and nobody's ever said that you were there.
I was there, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
I was on the show.
Okay.
What happened, though, is that Jose Gonzalez, right?
Right.
Do you know the story?
Yeah, we know the whole story. We've done interviews with Carlos.
Do you know about his baby drowning?
No, I didn't know about that.
That's when nobody gets. See, that I'll give you the straight story. Carlos,
Victor?
Invader, right? No.
Jose Gonzalez.
Jose Gonzalez. And his wife had just bought a new home. They had a 2-year-old baby, right? They were out in the front yard working in the yard. The baby crawled out and drowned in the pool 2 days before the show. He's crazy already, right? Your little 2-year-old daughter died. You never heard that, right?
Never. Nobody's ever.
Then you got to come to Ric Flair, brother. I got all the answers, okay? And he went down to the arena, and then whatever happened between the two of them, not sure the conversation, but Invader came walking out of the locker room. Next thing I knew, Brody was dying. But I mean, I'm sure I would be off my rocker too if my 2-year-old daughter died.
Right.
And then Bruiser didn't want to do business, and you know, which is.
Is that what you heard? With the a lot of people have different theories on it. Some people say when they worked for Vince and did TV back in the 80s, Brody took liberties with Jose, and there was always heat there.
No. The answer is to this. Nobody gets it. Brody and Hansen made all their money in Japan, and back then the magazines were very influential.
Gong and all that.
And all the magazines went right to Japan. And he just said, guys, I'm not going to do it. Invader just spent a month in the hospital. You know about that, right?
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, Brody put him in the hospital, and over in Puerto Rico.
All right, so there's another guy that he's speaking. This is what he talks about his friends. Okay, Bruiser Brody was murdered in Puerto Rico. It seems like it was a conspiracy with the company due to money issues as the real reason. But let's just break down that. Ric Flair was not in Puerto Rico that night. Search it up. It's well documented. Ric Flair was not in the dressing room. Number 2, Brody was not feuding with the guy that killed him and was not supposed to wrestle him that night. He was supposed to wrestle Danny Spivey, the same guy he'd wrestled the night before. One of my friends, Dangerous Dan, the left hand man. By the way, Flair, you want to talk tough? That's from punching someone and having my fist explode. How would you like that, Nature Boy, right in your face? Anyways, hey, I'm not picking fights. I'm just responding. The other thing that he's lying about, he did not put Invader in a hospital for a month before that happened. They hadn't even wrestled for a long time. It had nothing to do with Bruiser Brody refusing to do a finish. It was some type of conspiracy and cover-up where he passed away. But Brody, he was not there. He was not supposed to wrestle Invader that night either. And he also said there was 30,000 people there. It was a 12,000 seat stadium. So a lot of discrepancies there, but it seems like he's almost trying to make excuses for the guy that killed him, but he's saying it's his friend. Oh, don't worry. I mean, the guy, Brody just put him in the hospital for a month. Why would you say that about your friend? You're making excuses for the killer that are not true at all. Ric Flair is a god. He is the god of alcoholics to still be alive. You can't spell Flair without liar. If his lips are moving, he's a liar. All I have to say is I'm sorry to Hulk Hogan's gorgeous widow. Very sorry that she has to deal with idiots like this spreading horrific, malicious lies about how the husband died, which is, it's hard enough to go through the death of a husband than to have an alleged friend spreading lies that he died of street drug use. Flair, you're a piece of crap.